and today we are talking about the ego. You see, when we are born, we start to develop an ego so that we can better understand the world and our place in it. If we choose to go down a spiritual, creative, or initiative path, then it will help us to be able to push it aside so that we can explore more of our unconscious, where a whole other world exists. Very few people actually get to do that because our ego is not adapted to deal with things that are in the unconscious mind. However, as long as we need to fully function in this world, our ego is important, and we should never think in terms of getting rid of it completely, but rather in making it more flexible and more controlled. The purpose of the false ego is to make us identify with the body and its culture. Another purpose is to see ourselves as the center of all enjoyment. In reality, there is only one center of everything, and that is God. If you get rid of your ego, you will no longer be able to journey through life safely. We need our egos and our self-interest to survive in this world. The point of our spiritual journey is to control the ego so that it no longer dominates the mind in all situations. So the purpose of any true spiritual process of self-realization is to go back from our false ego to our real ego. To dissolve the ego means to dissolve our false ego and go back to our real ego, because the individual soul cannot be without an ego. Egos don't go away or get destroyed. They simply fade away into the background. The ego is what you present to the world. The soul is what you present to yourself. Having a low ego means that whenever someone insults you or hurts you, you would just forgive them or apologize and give them more of a reason to repeat their act again the next time. If you have a low ego, you can sometimes be a dumping ground for other people's frustration. If you have a high ego, it means you can't take no for an answer. You would leave anything and everything without even thinking twice if your ego was hurt. A medium ego is the best option, where people will respect you more and not be mean to you. Your life won't stop again and again because of your over defensive nature. The world exists of all these dualities, such as good, bad, positive, negative, light, dark. A soul that chose to be human had few reasons, and one of those biggest reasons is to learn In order to learn life lessons, we need the dualities to exist in the world. One doesn't know how to be a good person if the whole world exists with the good people. You don't know what is light if only dark exists. Just a few examples of this is, in order to dissolve greed, we need to once have greed to understand what greed really is. In order to dissolve anger, we need to once had anger to understand what anger really is. That is why all human beings are born with these traits that we call attachments, which in the end shall be let go once you are enlightened through countless learnings and experiences. If you are happy and content with your skills, and you do not feel threatened by comparing yourself with another individual with less or more skills than you, your ego will never feel hurt. You are not given any value to your ego, status, or comparison with others. You are beyond comparison. And this is the idea state to be happy and content with your life. But unfortunately, most people always end up comparing themselves with every other person around them. That's when the ego starts taking over your mind and gives you a false identification or perception of yourself. This is when the unhappiness starts taking place in your mind, and which can never be fulfilled. In this universe, you'll always find a person who is better than you. If you keep comparing yourself with everyone all the time, you are causing nothing but pain to come into your life. When you still believe the stories that bullies told you about yourself, you continue to do their work for them. It is time to find a way to start liking and accepting yourself for who you really are. You need to allow yourself to feel that pain and sadness so that you can let go of the past. Tell yourself that no wonder I feel sad about what happened to me. Those kids really did hurt my feelings. An ego is a major component of one's personality. Without it, you are not human. The problem isn't having an ego. It is having an imbalanced ego. Did you know the very phrase Jekyll and Hyde came to mean a person who is different in moral character from one situation to the next? The duality of human nature, usually expressed as an inner struggle between good and evil, with differences such as human versus animal. Your ego is an essential inner struggle between the one and the other. Remember, life is never just about you. and it never has been. Remember, there is always something someone else knows that you don't know. You can never be better than someone else because your own standards for what makes someone a good or bad person is based on your own values, which are culturally informed and influenced. All negative emotions are products of an ego. Desires like jealousy, guilt, hatred, greed, all positive emotions like love, compassion, gratitude, and forgiveness happens in the absence of your ego. If you work directly on your ego, it will become stronger and stronger. The only way to lessen the ego is to practice love, gratitude, and forgiveness. A high ego is due to the lack of love for others around you. If you love everyone, regardless of what they are, then the ego will never create any problems from you. Treat others the way that you would like to be treated. Just by doing that, you will feel more love inside your heart. To separate yourself from your ego is a mental concept and a mental act that involves awareness. The awareness refers to a state of present mental clarity, an inner understanding that you are not your thoughts, nor are you your feelings. There is another part of you that observes what is experienced on the physical level. What I mean by this is, have you ever been insulted by someone or offended by something that they did, and it made you consciously ask yourself, why do I let him or her get to me? There's the separation that your higher self is asking your little tiny itty bitty self. Yet instead of focusing on dissolving one's ego, I would suggest to focus your intention on finding your true self. Once your true self is realized, your ego will be a lot easier to control. If you have any suggestions that you would like to share on how you learned how to control your ego, please leave me a comment. I would love to read all about it. Make sure you check out my video on how to forgive someone when they hurt you. And please stay tuned for my playlist at the end of this video. You have to just keep on doing what you do. Never expect that only good things are gonna happen. Always prepare for the worst. Live life like it's your last day. In that way, you may be able to control your ego. It's tough, but not entirely impossible. I hope I was able to help you. And I thank you kindly for watching my channel. And please subscribe. I hope you have a wonderful day. and much love to you all.